On banks of one of my club waters down in Lincolnshire, and as you can see, I've got the rods out. As you can see, judging by the trees, it's in the middle of winter and just after Christmas. Yesterday was Boxing Day, we have 2 nights. I've got plenty of bait with me. I've got urban bait, strawberry nutcracker is my main go-to bait this time of year when water's nice and cold, water temperatures come down. Saying that the air temperature isn't so bad. Air temperature is about 8 degrees, and it was nice last night. It was about 6 degrees last night. But yeah, good water's pretty cold to the touch. That left hand rod just whacked into open water on a zig rig, probably about 4 or 5 foot, and that's just with a couple of maggots just hooked on shank, moving about, and they're having it. So I've just stopped to bang a zig rig out there. It's singleless for now. That's why that one's tight up and the other one aren't. I haven't had out as yet, but just soon after I put that zig rig out, one hiked out in fact. So they're definitely in upper layers, and it's about 8 foot. Tested with marker float, back for about 4 or 5 foot zig rig to start off with. Middle rods on the spinner rig, nice big size 4. It's a barbless rule here unfortunately, but opting for big hooks, and hopefully they stay in there and get in there a bit better. And then on the right hand rod, I've got an absolute mad rig I've never used before because it's cold, water's cold. I've brought 3 pints of maggots with me. Like I say, I've spawned about a pint out already, and alongside a bit of boilie, crumbled boilie, and a bit of ground bait just for a bit of smell. But urban baits, strawberry nutcracker crumbled up, just the 18 millis, some spicy fish as well crumbled up with the spicy fish 6 milli pellets. Mainly put maggots in more than out. I've probably put maybe 170 baits in, maybe crushed up, and a few all. But yeah, I've put that out over that right and middle rod. That right hand rod's just tucked in margins it down here to where a tree used to be. And get this swim again. You can see they've got a great big dirty pole in. Because there is a sunken tree down there. Obviously people have been getting wrapped up in that. I mean, I've known about that because once water level drops in it, you can see all branches, and I'm fishing to a tree line over there. But once you first hook them, you've got to crank them away and get them away from that. But I've never really had any issues with it, but we'll see how it pans out with a big 6-foot pole sticking out of water. But yeah, the right hand rod, like I say, I've had plenty of fish off this margin. Most of the time I've fished it, well, all the time. There's been a tree in the water, but this time there is not. So I've just pulled it a bit further in to right where there is another tree just in margin. I've felt led down a couple of times, and it's probably about 5 foot deep, so that's more than deep enough for a quick bite. But I'll obviously move the rods if I'm not happy. I'm here for 2 nights. Yeah, fingers crossed. It's not long till one of these babies rips off. Well, good evening guys. As you can see, no fish as yet for us. And the guy on the point himself, he's had 4 takes, 3 carp on the bank, and his granddad's had 1 as well. Seen a few fish show up my end as well. Him on the point was catching them from up this end on the other side of that white and black post that you can see over there. Had a bit of a change round. My pod was facing over there into this corner, and as you've seen from that last video, you'll see where's the snag gone. They've completely took it out. So yeah, that was the banker rod, the right hand rod, but I've changed it round now. I've got the right hand rod right under there. That's also my banker rod. That was usually my middle rod, that was my right hand rod, and then my left hand rod was cast into the abyss. And them two rods were the banker rods in this swim. But I watched them on the point and they were just using boilies. All three are on boilie rigs, also all the same rigs to be fair. Different a hook pattern on that left hand rod, but they're all on Ronnie rigs. Well, there we go. First one of the winter session, and it took longer than I thought. Like I say, we got here at crack of dawn. I got the swim I wanted after seeing a few people arrive. Got the rods out and just nothing happened. We were seeing fish, this guy on point were catching fish, so I knew they were about. So I knew it were only a matter of time. Changed my methods, went all boilies, and this particular rod, a left hand rod, the one that I moved the pod around for, threw it in about, we're at 8 foot of water, tied her on here before dark, changed this maggot rig and put a few strawberry nutcracker urban baits. Very, very poor bite, but there she is, 17 pounds on the dot, and she's gonna flip there. As you can see, she's an absolute boiling muncher, so hopefully it's the first of many. So yeah, happy days, my first Christmas carp. Get in. Number 2, and that's a bit better winter stamp of a fish. Check out that chestnut orange belly. I don't know how well you can see it, but you'll probably be able to see it a bit better on the pictures. But yeah, cracking stuff on my buzzing. Not long after putting that fish back, right hand rod this time tied to some tree line. The furthest rod I've got out actually. This was no green bite. Absolutely rattled off. Well, I didn't let it rattle off. I was straight on the rod. I've got tight clutches. 15 pound 15 ounce. As you can see, it's in cracking winter colours with that chestnut orange belly. Absolutely pristine, this one, compared to that last fish we had. But look at that paddle, tore me all over. This one's certainly been woken up by me tonight. Ready to go. Got a wild one here, as you can see. Look at him, he's like a chuffing cricket bat and he's going absolutely whappy. He didn't really fight hard. I don't think he really knew we were hooked until they were in the net and on the mat, as you can see. But it were a nice wake up call after not having a bite for a couple of hours. It's probably about 10 past 10 now. Got a few bleeps and it were a drop back, it ran straight towards me. First common of the trip, and look at that, £8 on the dot it was. So yeah, smallish by a long shot, but they're still having the bait. I just clipped it back up, so I've got marker elastics on, so I've took it back round the sticks, clipped it back up, wanged it back out with another urban bait, strawberry nutcracker, white pop up. Put about 30-40 baits out earlier, like I said, and they're still munching. Well, there's number 4, guys. Got that strawberry nutcracker rod back out, the one that's doing me all the fish, most of the fish. I've had 3 fish now. This was £10 smack on the dot. Last one was £8 on the dot, I think, on the same rod. So yeah, the stamp's just got a bit better. First fish £17, second fish 15, third £8, and we've just had this fourth £10-pounder, 4:25 AM. So I've just been sound asleep. Got a few blips, ran down, and this baby had dropped back. Just quickly show you the other side. But yeah, my third mirror of the trip. Only had the one common. But yeah, excellent fish. My third double out of 4 fish. And you just really can't complain with that in the middle of winter. Guys, there we go. Nice long lean fighting machine. Very active. £12.5 it went. Again, left hand rod. An hour after putting it back out after that last fish. Bang, get on the money. Urban baits, strawberry nutcracker, doing the business as per usual. I put about probably 10 boilies out, roughly where I thought my rigs are. Or this particular rod, just to keep them on the bait. And an hour later this is ripped off, so I've just done the same thing while it were in the net. Get it back around the posts, get another strawberry nutcracker on, get some more caught. Happy days. Good morning guys, 9:30 Friday the 28th of December, and as you can see we've got one in the sling, and that was my wake up call this morning. As you saw, last night was very eventful. Got 5 fish last night, biggest being that 17, the first fish we had, 17, then a 15, 15, 8 pound, 10 pound, 12 pound 5, and then this one, and this is another common, third common of the trip, 6 fish. Absolute madness for winter. Six carp in the bag in the first 24 hours, buzzing. 5 fish, all on that left hand rod. Open water, straight towards point, probably 60 yard out. I marker floated it yesterday for my zig rig, and I found that it was 8 foot deep, so it's probably the deepest spot out of the other 2. But last night I'd hardly put any bait out of that, probably 30-40 baits if that. It just went mad. Like I say, throughout the night I was trying to tickle baits out to the horizon markers in between these 2 trees best as I could, but you can't judge distance at night. Just seen a fish up there. See that right up in corner. But yeah, I've recast all 3 rods this morning. I got woke up by that. Probably a scraper double, common, left hand rod again. Just unhooked it on mat, slipped it in sling. It's literally been in sling 10 minutes, so our lass is still in bed, so I won't wake her up yet because she had a pretty hectic night last night with camera. Yeah, hopefully today, now we've got the going method, we should have a few. Absolutely freezing ebony this. Number 6, boilie muncher number 6. Left hand rod, ripped off this morning. Nice lovely wake up call at 9:30. Got hot rods cast out, put this in sling. It's been in sling about half an hour if that. Right, just before I put this fish back, this is the stuff I use. Corded propolis. I'm supposed to dry it off, but can't really get in there. As you can see, its mouth's pretty cut up. I want to get it back as soon as possible. And usually you're supposed to put a bit of water on that and it seals it up. Now I haven't got any on me, I've just used it up on pouring it on the fish, so. But I'm sure when it goes back it'll heal up nice and well. But as you can see, it's already started to heal up. And this is a hurler of a fish. Biggest of the trip so far. And bang, what a fish. But it's not all down to me, I'm afraid. 19 pound 5 ounce, and it's absolutely immaculate. 6th fish on that left hand rod, strawberry nutcracker. 60 yards out. Got a few bleeps while I was on the phone to my mate. Ran down, I've hit the fish. And my girlfriend's wanted to catch a fish for a while. I've passed her the rod, and this beast was on the end. So from me hitting the fish from the start, I've passed her the rod, and she's landed it from then on. Fought it and landed it. So it's all down to Ebony, my girlfriend. So well done on Ebony for her personal best, but she's a bit tired after that fight with this one. Tore her apart. But yeah, happy days. Get it. What a session. Best, ready to go back. A lovely Christmas banger. Look at the colours of that. Chestnut orange scales. What a fish. Well done, Ebony. On the Urban Bait strawberry nutcracker. just going to run you through the rig that's been doing the damage this session. I've had 6 fish out of the 7 on this rig. Well, I've had all 7 on Ronnie rigs, but this particular rig, it's got the wide gape 4 instead of the usual crank that I use. I've used these previous, but never for a pop-up presentation. I've only used them for a bottom bait or snag fishing, stuff like that, and they're an absolute exceptional look. Just incorporated it into the Ronnie rig, just for something a bit different. And this is the particular rig itself that has had the 6 fish on, and that 19 pounder that we've just slipped back. So as you can see, a nice big bait, and that's the 15mm strawberry nutcracker that I've just shown you the selection of. This, I've gone for the white this time. I've got fluorescent pink, smaller baits, a lot of bream in here. And at the start of the session I was using maggot presentations, like with a 12mm cork ball with a hook at the top, with probably about 20 maggots on the top. And I was just getting plagued by bream. And I was watching this guy on the point yesterday, and he was just hammering out, I think he got 4 bites and he lost 1. He was just throwing sticking boilies, so that's what I've done. And since I've done that, I've swapped my pod round, put this baby out, and from then on, since it got dark, from 8 o'clock onwards, I've just caught fish. I've had 1 fish on the right hand rod, which is usually the banker rod, and no fish on the middle rod as yet. But all the fish have come down to this rig. Barbless hook, unfortunately, because that's the rule. Got to abide by these rules. Critically balanced as well. I've made sure I put just enough putty on just to sink it nice and slowly, because the fish are really lethargic this time of year. The bites have been very poor. They've been like bream. But yeah, this is the selection of bait I've been using. This is the strawberry nutcracker range I've got. I've got 15mm boilies shelf life over there, and I've just been tickling them over with throwing stick. And I started with about 30 baits, not very many at all, for the amount of fish that are actually in here, because there is a good stamp of fish, and they're all big boiling munchers, as you've seen. So they can definitely pack them down. But I've just put little and often in and fished for a bite at a time, and it's paid off so far. But the little tip I was on about yesterday with the baits that I do, it's just something added extra. Just instead of buying a tub of pop-ups off at counter and go, but you can buy a little tub of strawberry nutcracker extract liquid, which is neat, and it's very powerful stuff. You don't need a lot at all. I use like a stringer needle. I get a stringer needle, dip it into the pot, and then just glaze them over. And as you can see now, all the selection here, it's all nicely soaked in. You can see, obviously not the ones, you can see better the ones outside of the tubs, and not one is soaking wet. And I don't like that. I don't like overpowering them that much. Just a nice glaze. I just keep tickling it on with needle for probably say a month. I've been going at these, doing it. See all sugar round tub just starting to come out at baits and whatnot, and they're just absolutely terrific baits for winter when it gets cold and you're wanting a quick bite. Now yesterday, like I said, I only put 30 baits out, and I got probably 5 fish overnight, so they probably smashed them nutcracker in first couple of fish that I caught. So from then on, the pulling power of these baits, we're just drawing them down. I got, like I say, I've had 7 runs, 7 fish on the bank now, and I think just that little extra tip there gets you a few more bites. Fish to report throughout today, but this was just like yesterday. It looked absolutely cock on for a bite all day, and then it just kicked off at night. I've got some baits out today, got a good bed of boilies over each rod. I haven't opted to spot or anything like that, and I'm just going to see if I can repeat last night. A few more people have come on. There's a guy on point, you can just see him, his van, and there's another guy right up. No one else arrived up this end of the lake. We should get a few tonight if they're having it. Weather conditions absolutely perfect for winter carp fishing. Lovely all day. The only trouble is Last night it was flat calm and there's a wind, there's a breeze on, as you can see at the minute, but I'm hoping that dies down like it was last night, and hopefully it shouldn't be too long till I've got one on the bank for yous. So we'll see what we can do. There we go. Hasn't took long into darkness at all. It's literally just dropped dark, probably about 4 o'clock. There you go, second biggest for me of the trip. I've only got that nice £19.5, that last fish you saw. And then I've just had this on the middle rod. The scope I haven't had a fish on yet. So I can now take the plastic cellophane off the cork handle finally. Buzzing, new bait as well. This took a CC Moore Northern Special White, 15mm again, on the all important Bonnie rig. And as you can see, it's got As you can see, it's got a pretty battered up mouth, if you can see. I don't know how well you can see, but yeah, £16, 15 ounces. So 1 ounce off my biggest. So yeah, excellent stuff. Let's just quickly show you the other side. Fought like an absolute beast all the way in. I says to everybody, it's a good fish this. I thought it was about 16 pound. But yeah, just tipped the scales at 16.50. So excellent stuff. Let's get some stills and get this baby back into the night. And this one's just dropped back. £9, 8 ounce. Strawberry nut cracker again. It's very, very lively. Absolutely freezing cold as well. Seems that the commons are on the feed. But yeah, number 8 for me. 9. There's number 10 for me, the third cricketback common of the trip, and he's pretty wild. He's jumping about all over. £10, 4 ounce, just woken up. Didn't get many bites last night, but I think the bream moved over me and the white most of the bait I put out. Got a few drop takes and I'm using pretty big baits to avoid the bream. I think they were just pulling on end at boilies and flying off with them. I got one at bream in at about £5, just knocked it off at end and put it back out, but I think the bream took all the bait, like I said. So I've got throwing stick out this morning. I've put about 50 baits out, recast all the rods with the same baits that were already on, and bang, £10, 4 ounce, number 10. few bleeps on the snag rod, right hand rod, which is tied up to a tree line right over there, which I'll show you after this fish where it is. But I've only had one fish on this right hand rod. This should be the second fish if I can get it in. I've had one on the middle rod and 8 fish on the left hand rod. But usually that tree line over there is the banking fish. This is it is a good fish. Just seen it. This will be my first fish on the Nash Citrus. Get it in. Just start bending round on fish tight clutches because it's up to a tree line and I don't want that fish getting in them trees. It went for snag, went for post, it took me all over as you saw. But yeah, over the moon. This character, believe it or not, I caught in September. Yeah, what a fish, look at them colours, and that's selling. Absolutely bottom, best of What a session we have had, in excess of 11 fish, the first being £17, second 15.15, third £8, fourth £10, fifth fish £12.5, the sixth 12.4, seventh 19.5, which was my girlfriend's personal best, so well done Ebony. Eighth fish £16, 15 ounce, ninth £9, 8 ounce, 10th £10.4, the 11th, not last but not least, my winter personal best of £20, 6 ounce,